I'm Tom Brandon, joining you here on THV 11 Plus to talk about what's going to be coming our way here on Saturday with a little bit of a change. We've had a weather impact advisory since Monday, and I have upped that to the next level, a weather impact alert for Saturday. And there's a lot of stuff happening around town, and not only around town, but around the state. And there will be some impacts from thunderstorms. I would say right now that we have a pretty good handle on there will be thunderstorms in Arkansas with a cold front moving in. The question remains the timing of those storms, severity of those storms. Everything's coming together to have at least a few strong to severe thunderstorms with some damaging wind gusts, hail, and even a couple of tornadoes cannot be ruled out. If it happens earlier in the morning and moves through central Arkansas, well, the threat will lessen somewhat, but most of our forecast models are leaning and tend to lean toward the afternoon and evening on Saturday afternoon. So if you're joining us and you have outdoor events planned, I talked to Liz Massey earlier today. Y'all remember Liz, she used to work THV 11, and they have a softball tournament happening this weekend, and they have moved that tournament from one place to another because of the dirt instead of the turf. But even at that, if you've got lightning flying around, you don't want to have those aluminum bats out and about, do you? Football the same way. There could be storms in the morning on Saturday in northwest Arkansas, and then a chance of a storm in the afternoon as this cool front moves on through. So let me walk you through what we can expect, or what at least we could see Saturday afternoon and evening. This is for central Arkansas. Scattered storms, one or two could be severe, damaging wind gusts of 60 plus. Large hail is possible, and cannot rule out the chance of a tornado. And the need is that you might want to review your severe weather handbook. If you've got one at home, safe place to go in case a warning is issued for you. I don't think this is going to be a widespread severe weather outbreak, but there is the chance, and we're entering the second severe weather season. October, November, December, you will sometimes have severe weather out ahead of a strong frontal boundary, and behind that front will benefit from some nice cool air, of which I'll get to here in just a moment. There is a consistency, and this has been in place since Monday, and the area coverage of the severe weather risk. We're looking at Saturday. There is a slight risk of severe weather for the entire state for Saturday. And on the outskirts, you've got the marginal threat. A lot of it depends on when it develops in northwest Arkansas and how quickly it can move through central Arkansas. I'm going to run you through a few different forecast model solutions. We depend on high-res models. We also depend on the European GFS model to indicate, just to give us an idea of the pattern and what's coming ahead. So let's start you off with the risk of it all, the weather impact alert. Saturday is a weather impact alert day for the potential of a few strong to severe storms during the day. In the morning, northwest Arkansas, possibly afternoon, but more likely in central Arkansas, the afternoon and the evening hours. And this is not set in stone. We're going to see some moving around. The forecast models will all begin to come into an agreement, and that'll give us a better idea of the timing. We talk about the hazards, damaging wind gusts, hail, a couple of tornadoes. The timing of it all is still in question. But if you have an outdoor event planned around the state, and there are many, you've got the Arkansas State Fair, of course, Saturday, wrapping up the weekend. You've got numerous tournaments, whether they're softball or baseball tournaments, lots of fall leagues. You've got Razorbacks. UAPB has a game, and that's in the afternoon hours in Pine Bluff. Tailgaters, I think the further south and east you move away from central Arkansas, it pushes into the nighttime hours. So it's possible that games south and east of Little Rock will not be impacted Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. Still updating our forecast information. Our forecast models are now in that high-res mode where we're able to look at what's going on in the next 48 to 60 hours. What about ingredients? We talk about having the right ingredients in place for severe weather. We'll certainly have some instability or CAPE. This is storm fuel. This is as early as 2 o'clock in the morning, still on the very low end here. Looking at what our European model was kicking out not long ago, was that we would have storm fuel early in the day, and then by the late afternoon and evening hours, the CAPE begins to drop off. If that's the case, then we might just have some strong thunderstorms and some heavy rain in areas. The wind threat would come down a bit. But we're going to lean on the side of caution here. Any thunderstorm that does develop will have that potential of becoming strong to severe. This is Saturday, 11 o'clock, northwest Arkansas getting a little bit more into that low to moderate CAPE angle there. And for the afternoon and evening hours heading into overnight, we begin to see the CAPE diminish. And by the way, this is from our European model. which is a long-range model. It's been fairly consistent and indicating storms would happen in western Arkansas, moving into central Arkansas during the afternoon and evening hours. So morning storms in northwest, afternoon and evening in central Arkansas. But the forecast models that are coming back in are high-res models. Our graph, which is our in-house model, showing something a little bit different, of which we will get to here right now, as a matter of fact. Now, first of all, this is the high-resolution rapid refresh model, and I'm just going to take it and toggle it across. This is Thursday afternoon, some cloud cover. It's a beautiful day, but we are beginning to see moisture levels increase in the upper levels, and that will reflect in some lower-level moisture and dew points going up as we get closer in time. This is on the very end of that 48-hour window as we take you to really what's the 6, 7 o'clock time period Saturday morning. Let's say it's 6 a.m. Saturday. So we begin to see showers and a few embedded thunderstorms coming together in northwest Arkansas. That's with the high-res solution. Our next forecast model is the graph. I was able to show this last night, indicate that by the time we hit Saturday, was going to see some storms, and the graph was a lot quicker with its solution, and they're all a little bit different. So let's take you up to that Saturday morning time period. It seems to be in a little bit of line here with with something developing out toward the northwestern part of the state. Winds out ahead of the boundary out of the south. The frontal boundary still well off to the west over in Kansas. And we'll take you a couple of 3 hours down the road. 10 o'clock, cluster of storms in northwest Arkansas. They could be strong. Severity of storms this early in the morning, maybe not as much, but they still could be strong. And notice they're really in northwest Arkansas, northwest, and then eventually north central Arkansas. Out ahead of that cluster of storms, our temperatures warm up nicely. We'll have a few breaks in the clouds, enough instability to work with. Then we take you to 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The game in Fayetteville starts at 2:30. There's not much developing on the backside, according to this model. So we may see the game get underway and not have any impacts at all. The storms begin to approach central Arkansas. This is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm hoping for this solution because we can get most of this in and out of here during the daylight hours. Anytime you get storms at night, it becomes a little more complicated. So from there, we'll take you to 4:30 in the afternoon. Notice not much else is developing out here. In fact, that frontal boundary is through northwest Arkansas at this time. The wind has shifted direction to more of a west-southwesterly direction. Storms in eastern and central Arkansas. This is by 4:30 in the afternoon. So this solution might impact those ball games in central and southeast Arkansas, especially down around Pine Bluff. Their game time, I think, is around 2:30 in the afternoon. But leaning toward the European model, that's what we've been going with these last few days. The European model and the late nature of those thunderstorms, we really wouldn't see them till after dark over central and southern Arkansas. So my fingers are crossed, and I don't necessarily pull for a forecast model or solution, but I like the graph here. Okay, so anything that is within this line could be strong to severe. This is 4:30 in the afternoon. So we'll have to keep an eye on the storms that could produce some damaging wind gusts. I wasn't finished with you. Go back. All right, let's go back to that 4:30 time period. This is 5:30. We could see a secondary area try to develop here late in the evening. Again, that boundary pushing in from west central Arkansas. And we head toward Saturday, 10 o'clock, another little area. I would imagine this would be non-severe. Just some general thunderstorms. But out in eastern and southeastern Arkansas, that has a little bit more of concern with some damaging wind gusts here over our southeast Arkansas county. So this is the graph solution. Again, I like it. I like what it says, but it may not be the right one. Again, we're still 48 hours out in advance of this. We're just trying to give you an idea of what you can do to plan your day, plan your evening hours because of those events and activities. Now let's shift over to the European model. We will make our transition from European model to the into the graph more than likely this evening during the early evening newscasts at 10 o'clock tonight, because we'll have more data coming down from both the and the graph. And we'll try to take them both and divide them up and see which makes the most sense, right? Saturday morning, 9 o'clock. Again, both of our short-range, high-res models indicated something in northwest Arkansas. Let's take you a little bit down the road, 2:30 in the afternoon. European is also kicking back more storms in central Arkansas by the 2 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock time period. Storms in northwest Arkansas for the game. Leaning lightning would cause delay. So that is Saturday. I'm just going to keep these on. I can't see without them. 2:30. We'll move along. Saturday, 7 o'clock. That front is right there in northwest Arkansas. And you have to kind of look at this with kind of with a grain of salt in a way, because I don't think it's a solid area of storms, but there will be some here if the European model holds. This is 7 o'clock, so it's a little bit delayed. It's a little bit of a later solution. When do storms get out of the way? By early Sunday morning, 6 o'clock. Nice northwest wind begins to build in, the drier air moving in, and things will get much better. So, still a lot to get through, but there's enough there for the weather impact alert. We had the advisory out the first few days because we could recognize that coming up down the road sometime Saturday that we would have impacts from a lot of storms, or at least some scattered storms. And that's exactly why we had the advisory. But I'm going ahead and elevating it to the weather impact alert because, yeah, there's a better handle. We've got the high-res models involved that storms will happen in Arkansas. So tomorrow, afternoon highs flirting with records, getting into the upper 80s, mid-80s Saturday, and then we could say goodbye to the 80s for quite a while. Look at this. This is some forecast model guidance going on down the road to Monday the following week. You've got Monday next week and then Monday the following week. And we finally begin to see temperatures come down to where they should be this time of year. Keep in mind 74 is the average high, but numbers will be close to average by the time the storms get out of the way. So there's that once we get beyond and behind the storms. Now let's talk about the game in Fayetteville on Saturday. There'll be a lot of folks that get up early Saturday morning and they'll start that drive to northwest Arkansas. And if you're one of those people, there's a pretty good chance you'll run into some rain on the way up. Give yourself plenty of time to make it to the game. And with that, if we have any lightning and thunderstorms during game time, they're going to have delays. And who knows when the game would start if that were the case. There's just still a lot of uncertainty with this forecast as we look ahead to your weekend. But Reynolds Razorback Stadium, Fayetteville, kickoff is at 2:30. There will be a chance of storms. And I'll tell you, we'll have a better idea on the back half of the game tomorrow afternoon. This is when everything starts to come into line. At least we hope that this does. Everything begins to line up. So maybe 4 and 5, it's cloudy skies with a breeze in northwest Arkansas. And once we get the storms out of the way, they should be able to get the game in. Forecast high 87 tomorrow. Lots of sunshine after some morning clouds, and we'll begin to feel the effects with the dew point numbers going up. Low-level winds will begin to pick up. It'll begin to get more sticky outside. If you're just joining us, you're watching THV 11 Plus. Tom Brandon with you, walking through the what could happen on Saturday. Again, still a certain amount of uncertainty with it, but we're going with a weather impact alert day on Saturday. I'm just going to review here, rewind and review, and let you know what I'm thinking about this. If you're just now joining us, I know it's a gorgeous day out there. The weather looks perfect. I'm looking outside with looking to the northwest, Arkansas River and beyond, just a few high-level clouds, which we're expected to increase today. So once again, we're back to Saturday with the weather impact alert, and we are expecting some storms in Arkansas. 1 or 2 could be strong, 2 severe. So you need to plan in central Arkansas, especially the afternoon and the evening hours. Northwest Arkansas, western Arkansas, more morning to early afternoon. What's at stake? Scattered storms are possible, some damaging wind gusts, hail, and really we can't rule it out anytime you have a chance of severe weather, even though it's a low-end threat. And let me just reiterate that. It's a low-end threat. And we want to make sure that you're aware that you could be impacted if you have these outdoor festivities and festivals. We don't want you to be surprised, because I can't tell you how many times we can put it out there in a forecast that there is a chance of rain and thunder. Keep your eye to the sky and be weather aware. People will come back and say that, hey, we didn't know it was going to rain. We do our best, right? So this is to prep you. This is to make sure that you understand what's coming down. The need is to stay alert and informed, have a plan in place. Remember, second severe weather season coming around this time of year. We tend to get lax with everything, and you have to get that safe place ready once again. Maybe not for this event, but the next one, if we have one. I'm hoping that we don't. But just have a plan. Make sure you have the THV 11 app downloaded. THV 11 Plus, you're watching THV 11 Plus. Maybe you're watching it from your app, of which you can do. If you have a family member or a friend and they have a smart TV, Amazon, Roku, Fire, Apple, even Samsung, certain Samsung models, newer models, you can download the THV11 Plus app and you can stream along with us. We are planning on streaming a good part of your Saturday on THV11 Plus. We know that we have afternoon football on the main channel, but if you want weather information, I'll be here Saturday. Simone Thomas will be here Saturday, and we'll have crews in Northwest Arkansas as well, keeping an eye on what's going on up there. We might even talk Scott Covert up in Northwest Arkansas about the goings-on and what's going on there. I'm going to walk you through once again the timing here, because this is the one thing we get. Hey, Tom, what time is it going to rain? What time can we expect those storms? From here through Saturday, there's going to be a lot of changes. Again, here's what we can expect in terms of the risk, and it's a slight risk. But I will say this, that if we do see an enhanced risk, if we see a level up, then it would be a few counties in north central and northeast Arkansas. This is where we find the greatest jet energy. That would allow for more spin in the atmosphere and could produce a few brief tornadoes. So north central Arkansas, this is Saturday. This is the risk area that was issued by the Storms Prediction Center today. Now tomorrow it could look a little bit different. Southwest and southern Arkansas may be eliminated from the risk, maybe a marginal threat, and we'll see a shift. We could see a shift. But I'm here to tell you right now, if you live up around Mountain Home, Clinton, Batesville, and the Jonesboro area, they may elevate you. They may put you in that enhanced risk of severe weather for a better chance of seeing a tornado or two in that part of the state. Strong to severe weather with hazards like damaging wind, 60 plus miles an hour, hail is possible, large hail, brief tornado can't be ruled out. Again, talking about the timing, it's the timing of this line, or the timing of these thunderstorms. That's what is in question right now. But I feel confident enough that we're going with a weather impact alert. And again, going with the impact alert this time of year because of what's happening out in the world. Temperatures have supposedly cooled off enough for outdoor events and activities. Folks might be having wedding plans. There's events like softball games, college football games, or maybe even charitable organizations have their walks, their runs, whatever they have going on. We just want to make sure that they have the latest information. So outdoor events and activities will be impacted. Low end of isolated wind gusts of 60 to 70. Large hail, also a pretty low risk of that, up to quarter sized. A brief tornado cannot be ruled out. Tell you what we could use out of this, some rain. There could be one or two storms that produce a pretty good amount of rain. Let's hope that you get yours. Storm fuel, once again, Saturday. The best is in the morning over northwest Arkansas, and that will build eastward during the day. But notice we lose a little bit during the late afternoon, evening, and nighttime hours. Won't have as much storm fuel to work with that frontal boundary moving on through. The solution from the HRRR looks like this. Our short-range models, high-res models, the HRRR kicking back storms moving in by Saturday morning around 6, 7 o'clock. Okay, for those of you that are wanting a little bit more of a time, it looks like the HRRR is also updating at this time. Our graph model, which came through last night, storms in northwest Arkansas as early as 10, 11 o'clock Saturday morning, and moving through central Arkansas during the afternoon hours. We have, again, different model solutions to look at, and of course it's our job to kind of nail down when those storms will impact and affect you. Graph is kicking back a couple of different possibilities there for the afternoon and evening hours. You can come back to me here, Perry, 648. Again, to recap, let me take it to, let me do this, take it to the Razorback game. There you go. Those of you that do have plans, keep an eye on the weather this weekend. My job not to scare you, just to make sure that you know that, hey, those storms that develop could pack a punch this weekend. That's really all we're here for, and that's why I'm breaking in this afternoon on THV 11 Plus to let you know that plan your Saturday accordingly. Weather impact alert day for Saturday for the potential for strong storms that are going to have an impact on your outdoor events and activities, including the Razorback game that gets kicked off at 2:30 in Fayetteville. Fingers crossed that there's very limited severe weather, if any, on Saturday, and then it will blow through your area quite quickly and and you won't have to worry about too much going forward. Let's hope that the graph solution is the faster solution. That's the one I'm pulling for. It is right at 2:50. Thank you for joining us. Be sure you pick us back up here at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Brooke Buckner, myself, will have our 4 o'clock news. We'll have a lot of weather, so stay tuned for that, and we'll see you then.